Here is the next lesson in course 2, and this is my layout, and what I want to share with you as an idea to do for your pages is to create the background that I have made here. It's really easy to make, much easier than it might look, so I'm going to get rid of all of this stuff to show you the background. Zoom in so you can kind of look at it. Now I was kind of wanting a more grungy feel to it, and I think if you wanted to work at it harder than I did, you could probably figure that out. But I'm going to show you how to do it, and let's see how creative you can become. Here is what it looked like before I changed it to look like this. And basically I just have a white background behind it. What I did was to create my text and decide what text I wanted. I chose the font. For this one I have a headline font that I got off the internet. I'm going to highlight it and press Control C so that it's on my clipboard. Next, I'm going to create a new layer just to be safe. I probably don't have to do that, but just to be safe. And got my text tool activated, and I'm just going to draw a text box the entire size of my layout. And then I'm going to put my cursor down in there and hit Control V to put that in there. Now, I did this the first time. I need to go back and do it again. I really need a space in there, so I'm actually going to hit space and go back to highlight it all to include that space, and then click Control C to copy it to my clipboard to make it a little bit easier. And then I'm just going to hit Control V again and again and again until it fills up that entire space. Now, as I'm looking at this, I lined it up. I don't like the way the AS goes to the edge. It's better if you get some text that only goes so far. So what I'm going to do now is change that font size down. So now you see my text, the end of the sentence lands here. And what I'm going to do then is go ahead and highlight all of this, Control C, and continue on. And now you can see it doesn't have the word as going down the edge. And so sometimes you might need to adjust your text size and to fit the size of your sentence so that it doesn't do that. So you just go on down till it's all full. I'm going to accept the text and right click on the layer and choose Simplify. If you're in Photoshop, you're going to be rasterizing, and as I did up here, I went ahead and saved this layer, Control J to duplicate it to a new layer, and I saved it in case I wanted to go back. On my original layout, the text down here at the bottom didn't land as well as this did, but I'm going to go ahead and just grab it and resize it so that that text on the bottom row is lined up with the bottom, and that way the top and the bottom are both evenly on my paper. So what we're going to do next is get the eraser tool, and there are a variety of brushes in here that would work. Now, I didn't find any that I really thought were grungy enough for me. You might be able to go out there and download some, but these wet media brushes worked. I was using some of these natural brushes. There's actually natural brush 2 and 1 in here, Just the dry media brushes would work. Just You just have to play around and find a brush. So let's go into these natural brushes and grab this one. And I'm going to make my brush very large so you can see that this brush is kind of a grungy brush already. And I'm going to make my opacity for the eraser brush at 100%, and I know I want the center of this to be completely white, so I'm just going to kind of do this. Now you can see it's already kind of really grungy there, and maybe that was more the look I was going for, and I maybe should have left my opacity at 100%. It's all in what you do with it. You can click down once rather than drag, because when you drag, see, it's going to delete almost all of it. But you click down once and you can see the kind of a cool effect that it's going to give, making it kind of grungy. And it's all a matter of learning the brush work. And it's got to catch up with me. I want to zoom out. There we go. And you can see, depending on what your brush is, and you can use a variety of brushes, you're going to get different effects as you erase these. Now, what I did do with mine earlier was to reduce the opacity. You can even reduce the brush size and start hitting it that way. As I said, you could change the brush if you wanted to try to find something different. But for this purpose right now, we're just going to use the same brush. And you want to remember to make this really random looking, like it is now. It doesn't have to be balanced and really uniform. You want it to be, in fact, even just like this would be kind of cool as a background, where this is a lot more grungy than the other one that I made. You can remember that since you've got the opacity lowered, when you hit on it, it is going to kind of fade it rather than delete it entirely. And so you just keep working your way back out however you want until you get, you know, something grungy and kind of cool. Now if you wanted, I used mine on white paper because I just wanted a simple layout. Of course, you can also change, you know, the background color if you want, and use blending modes to kind of get even yet a different effect. Of course, those colors there don't look good together. I'm just trying to quickly do some. I would, if you're going to do blending, I would actually bring in a paper that has some texture to it, and I just went silent. I try to talk the entire time, but doesn't always work. There, that now we're getting into a better color. I think that color works for me a little bit better. And so, you know, I can use blending modes if I want. There's an overlay, which if you have texture on your paper, is going to really make this really cool. And so you'll be able to still sort of read the words. People can really pay attention, and actually if you leave the top line alone, you could at least read it, and then build your layout around it. If you want to get a grungy border to put around it, that would be pretty cool. Or there's some tutorials around the site that will teach you that. And so, you know, I had a white border around mine, but this one actually doesn't look too bad that I made real quickly here. This actually looks pretty good. My original layout was with this one. Not quite as grungy. My brushes were little softer brushes that I utilized, and so hey, even that color with that background looks good. So it's a simple technique that you can do to snazz up your layouts and to make that background so it's personalized with the words. The words here on my background actually came from this poem that Carla wrote, and so I want to see what you can do with it, and I look forward to seeing your layouts.